Alright, let's hoist the anchor and begin our voyage into naval history, with the USS Langley taking center stage, the very first US Navy aircraft carrier. When you think of an aircraft carrier today, the mind might conjure up an immense floating airbase, colossal, bristling with aircraft, brimming with radar towers, all projecting power across the seas. But like all great innovations, this story begins humbly, with an experiment and a converted coal ship. The USS Langley began life in 1913 as the collier Jupiter, a vessel designed to carry coal for fueling the fleet. She had a fairly uneventful early career, but in 1920 the US Navy decided to transform her into something revolutionary, a ship that could launch and recover airplanes at sea. In 1922, the Jupiter emerged from her transformation as USS Langley CV-1, the Navy's first aircraft carrier. Named in honor of aviation pioneer Samuel Pierpont Langley, she was unmistakable, a flat wooden flight deck stretched across the hull, no island superstructure, and a small flying-off platform at the bow. Below deck, the massive coal bunkers had been replaced with hangar space, workrooms, and aircraft elevators. As the first of her kind in the US fleet, the Langley was more laboratory than warship. Her crew and embarked aviators tested every aspect of carrier operations, takeoffs and landings. Pilots mastered the nerve-wracking skill of arresting landings on a rolling deck via primitive arresting gear. Aircraft handling. Crews learned to move aircraft between the hangar and flight deck using newly installed elevators. Naval strategy. The Navy began to figure out how fighters, bombers, and reconnaissance planes could extend a fleet's reach far beyond the horizon. Her limitations were obvious. Low speed, barely 15 knots, small air group, around 30 biplanes, and no armor, but her lessons were priceless. In her early years, the Langley served mostly with the Pacific Fleet, training aviators and refining carrier doctrine. By the mid-1930s, newer, more capable carriers Lexington and Saratoga took over frontline duties, and the Langley was converted again, this time into a seaplane tender, redesignated AV-3. She supported patrol aircraft across the Pacific. Final chapter in war. When the Pacific War erupted in December 1941, Langley found herself ferrying planes to the fight. On the 27th of February 1942, off Java, she was attacked by Japanese bombers, unable to recover from multiple hits and listing heavily. Her crew abandoned ship. US destroyers finished her off to prevent capture, ending the career of America's first aircraft carrier. Though she never fought as a frontline fleet carrier, Langley's significance was immense. She trained the Navy's first generation of carrier aviators. She proved that an airstrip at sea was not only possible but practical. She paved the way for the mighty carriers that would dominate warfare in World War II and beyond. Fun tidbit: with her ungainly silhouette flat deck, no island, squat, smokestacks, venting sideways, sailors teasingly called her the covered wagon. Fitting for a pioneer, really. I can also create a timeline graphic and deck layout sketch to visually enrich this blog entry, highlighting the Langley's transformation and role in carrier evolution. This would make the piece stand out and make the story even more vivid. Would you like me to add those historical visuals next?